Aha! I have come here to hijack this review. Huh? Huh? What are you doing here? I'm just here having fun. Shazam! Booyah! Come on, you're just wasting my time. I don't have time for this. Come on, Thanos, leave. But there's gonna be a repaint of me. Who cares? I won't have this glove. You'll have to buy me before that happens. Booyah! Alright, true believers, this is a video review of Marvel Universe Series 3, Wave 4, also known as Wave 15. You might be confused. You might say, like, Series 3, Wave 4? What does that mean? Huh? But don't fret. I'm gonna explain. Stores like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, they have these guys listed as Wave 15. Now, where does the Series 3 Wave 4 come from? There's a checklist on a website called It's All True .net, where they list they have a checklist of the Marvel Universe figures by year and by wave. So on their checklist, this is Wave 4, and I kind of like it because the checklist has each figure according to how Hasbro's releasing it. So Hasbro just released this bountiful bounty on my on my butt. So I'm gonna get to reviewing. In this wave, we got number 17, Ultron. I am Ultron. I am awesome. We have number 18, which is Darkhawk. Caw-caw! I don't know who he is, but caw to you, man. We have number 19, which is Namor. Imperious Rex. Woohoo! We got number 20, which is the Bodacious X-23 with a new female body. Hubba hubba, baby. And we got number 21, the guy on the back telling you to collect them all for finally Steve Rogers, or Commander Rogers as he's known in the comics. But since Hasbro can't sell these figures to Target and Toys R Us saying, look, buy a Steve Rogers figure, they have to slap on Captain America. But he's not. Bucky is. Well, you know, yeah. Spoiler, Bucky's dead, so Captain America is Captain America. Yay! They got it right. Alright, so that's it for the introduction to this video. Let's go into the consumer information. I picked up these figures at Target this morning. Today, Wednesday, September 21st, I picked these up. I have a feeling that by the end of the year, we're going to be inundated with all the figures that are left on the Series 3 calendar. So prepare your wallets, bubs. We're gonna be assaulted. So I picked these guys up today at Target. I got Ultron, and I don't know exactly the case assortment for these guys. I did see, including this one, about 3 Darkhawks. I left the 1 Ultron, so that means there were 2 per case. There was a Doctor Doom, 1 Falcon. I think there was 1 more Namor, because I compared them to look at the face. The face is awesome. The thigh, not so awesome. There were 2 X-23s. And with this Captain America, I think there was four or three, but there was more of this guy than any other. So this, if this guy turns out to be the peg warmer, I'm gonna be very happy because I like him. I like him a lot. Look at that awesomeness. But I'm thinking that probably the guys warming the pegs will be Ultron and the Submariner. Why? Because we already have a Submariner and we already have Ultron. Darkhawk might, but depending on the fandom, Gladiator didn't get much love, so I'm thinking Darkhawk's probably gonna stick around also. So that's it for the consumer information. These guys were $9.97 in Target. Toys R Us has a sale this week, buy two get one free, but here's hoping that by the end of this week they'll get it and you'll be able to get it too. Originally created by Hank Pym, Ultron became self-aware and rebelled, swearing to destroy all of humanity with adamantium armor, superhuman strength, and the power of hypnosis. He poses a great threat to the human race. Each time the Avengers think they have destroyed him for good, he finds a way to rebuild himself more powerful and dangerous than ever. Bebop Loobop. So, Ultron the robot. There are two episodes of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes which feature Ultron, and you can tell how much of a villain this guy is. I mean, in the comics, I always thought of him as just a robot. You know, he's Bebop Loobop. She loves me, baby. And I don't know. He's not one of the best villains I think of when I think of Marvel Universe. In Secret Wars, Galactus just grabbed him and sucked the power out of him, and he was out of the fight. What a wimp. But in those episodes of Avengers, you can see how Ultron is as much a threat as maybe a Sentinel with their extinguished humanity, or a Dalek. Exterminate. So that's Ultron. He's alright. One of the good things about him is he's like a Cylon. If you destroy his body, he could download his consciousness into another body. Now we got Darkhawk. As a teenage boy, Chris Powell discovered an amulet that transferred his consciousness into the armored body of Darkhawk. Granted enhanced strength, flight, and powerful energy blasts, Chris devoted his new abilities to the fight against evil. Though he is not invulnerable, any damage he suffers as Darkhawk is immediately repaired in the transition back to his human form. I don't know what team Darkhawk belongs to. I'm thinking it's the New Warriors. But the concept of, transferring his consciousness into a body that it gets damaged, but as soon as he gets out of it, it's fixed, sounds pretty cool. It looks like he has like 3 Wolverine claws, which maybe they are Wolverine claws, but I don't know enough of the character to be able to give a history on him. I don't like his design though. It's meh. It's alright. Then we get the Submariner. Namor, the Submariner, is a man of two worlds. The memory of the destruction of his homeland of Atlantis fuels his anger toward his nemesis, Imperious Rex. I meant enemies. He has strong ties to the X-Men, Avengers, and Fantastic Four because he's supposed to be the first mutant, and assist them in the fight against evil. Today, the Submariner looks to gather the remainder of his people off the coast of San Francisco in hopes to rebuild Atlantis to its former glory. Um, Namor's had a cartoon way back in the 60s. And, and he was in some of the issues of Marvels. That's where I think he was best known to me, when he decided to invade the land, yeah, to invade New York. He loves to yell Imperious Rex, which I guess means I'm the king. And he has a cousin named Marita, who died during the event that triggered Civil War in Stamford, Connecticut. Which it's close to New York, but it's like Stamford. What? But I decided to get this guy. I've seen the one with the shoulder pads, but I've been like, shoulder pads, Namor, don't like him so much. He's still on Hasbro Toy Shop, so I might pick him up just to get the collection. But Namor isn't like one of my favorite characters. So he's just here to complete the collection. Now we got X-23. X-23, the young clone of Wolverine, is one girl you don't want to mess with. Created as a living weapon by the mysterious facility, she has been rescued and adopted by the mutant protectors of Utopia. Despite her dark past, she has found a place with the X-Men and X-Force, serving as a powerful soldier in defense of the mutant species. I've just been starting to read X-Force, which is why X-23 is wearing this costume. I like her character. She's been a lady of the night, you know, selling her services for money. If you're an adult, you probably know what I'm talking about. But she's the clone of Wolverine. She's a girl, I think, because one of the X chromosomes from Wolverine was damaged, or the X chromosome. Well, the X chromosome from Wolverine was damaged, and so one of the scientists decided to put one of her chromosomes and carry the baby, so she's a girl, and then they trained her to be a fighter. In X-Force, she works with a precision mind. She'll calculate like how many seconds till somebody reloads a gun, who she should take out first, what her objective is, like what she has to sacrifice. So she's cold and calculated, and that's what I like about her. Wolverine tries to help her become more human, and eventually she starts learning about stuff. There's one issue of X-Force that she decides she's gonna sacrifice her life for the mission, and then she gets saved. And there's kind of like a Rei Ayanami moment where she looks like, you saved me, you care about me, I thought no one cared about me. So her character's still developing. I like her more than I like Wild Child and Daken. If you don't know who Wild Child is, Google it or Wikipedia. So I like X-23, not because she's a girl, not because this is a new female figure, or because she's like based off of Wolverine, but I just like the way they're taking her character. She's awesome. Steve Rogers was changed into the perfect human specimen by the Super Soldier Serum. He was the first to take the identity of Captain America. Blessed with superhuman abilities and an indestructible shield, he protects the people of the world as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and commander of the Secret Avengers. Shh, it's a secret. What can I say about Steve Rogers? I like Captain America. But I think I like the character design and the costume more than the stories that he's gone through, because Cap became Cap, then he was unthawed, and he joined the Avengers, and then he got replaced. He decided to get rid of his costume, become Nomad, lame, and then he he didn't like the way government was doing stuff, so he decided to wear a black costume, call himself the Captain, and from there, after he became the Captain, it's like a big a big space until he dies in Civil War, at the end of Civil War, and then he's brought back by a time traveling bullet. When they killed him off, I knew he wasn't gonna stay dead. I was like, this guy's not gonna stay dead. And I feel sorry for all the suckers who went out and bought the comic. It's like, oh, Captain America 25, it's gonna be worth a lot. If you don't remember what happened with the death of Superman, then bully for you. But I do like Captain America. I like the fact that he decided to let Bucky keep the mantle of Captain America, and that he was going to take over S.H.I.E.L.D. after Osborn was thrown out. So I like Commander Rogers. I like his outfit, and I like what he's done with himself. So that's it with the history. Alright, first up, we'll start with number 17, Ultron. Ultron will go first, and he will be awesome. Not. Alright, so this is the old Ultron body from the Secret Wars 2-pack, as I already mentioned before. And we have our old friend Dr. Doom here, who uses some of the same parts, like the legs and the arms of Ultron. So for Ultron, his neck is on a ball joint. He has this swivel and mid-torso swivel, can move side to side. His arms, these shoulder pad thingies are the worst things ever. It looks like a dress. So his arms can go around, whoop, and up, swivel there, bend at the elbow, and also swivel at the elbow. And he has swivel wrist. There goes his shoulder armor. He has a waist swivel, and his legs can go forward. It's a little tough, but with enough force they'll go all the way up. He has two joints at the knee and the swivel ankle and the joint there. You can already see this guy as Peg Warmer Supreme. It's Namor. Namor has ball joint the neck with a new joint down there in this throat. I believe he uses the same body as Commander Rogers. The same upper torso. Look at those pecs. And I'm gonna spoil it. Commander Rogers also has that neck joint. So when Namor goes flying, he can look like he's flying, which is pretty good. His arms can swivel and up and down. Uh-oh. And he has only one elbow joint and swivel wrist. He has a swivel waist. His legs can go forcibly forward and they swivel here. My figure's legs are a little tight. And he has the little booty shorts. Booty, 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 booty. Double jointed knees, swivel thighs, and swivel calves. And what I really like about this figure is that he has the famous rocker joints on the legs. I mean on the feet. The feet can move up and down and side to side. Let me remove his wings, which just like the falcon they come off. His head is on a swivel. He can't look up or down. I think it's probably a ball joint, but because of the construction of the head, he can't look up or down. His arms can only rotate so much before they clash with the shoulder pads. Can go up like that and swivel here. One point of articulation at the elbow and swivel wrist like always. He has a mid-torso joint which lets him bend like this. No waist joint. His belt is a little loose. It can go up or down, but that's not an articulation point. His legs can bend forward, and he has double jointed knees and ball jointed ankles. His feet feel like the falcon's. It looks like the Darkhawk's upper torso is smaller than the falcon's, and his mid torso too. He's pretty skinny. So the arms are different. Commander Rogers' head is on a ball joint, and it can move up and down like this. His arms can rotate and go up. He has cut bicep. One point of articulation in the elbow. Mid-torso joint. He has a swivel waist. And his legs are kind of stiff to go forward, so I'm not going to force it. He has a calf swivel. I mean, a thigh swivel. 2 points of articulation on the knee. A calf swivel here. And just like Namor, rocker joints. But they're kind of hindered by the plastic of the boot. Her head is on a ball joint with a extra new joint, as you can see, so she can look up and down. It's kind of hindered by her hair, but her hair is made out of same soft plastic all the girls get. She can look side to side a bit. Her arms go around all the way and up. They bend here, and incredibly, for such a thin little arm, she has a swivel elbow, and she also has swivel wrist. She has a mid-torso joint, but she doesn't have a waist. The belt is kind of loose, so you can move it up or down. But it's attached by the belt buckle. Her legs can go forward but they're a bit stiff on mine, so I'm not gonna break her. She has swivel thighs, double jointed knees, swivel calf, and incredibly she also has rocker joints here on her little feetsies. Everyone comes with their base, but there's only two people that come with accessories in this in this wave. Ultron gets his Ultron base. Namor gets his Imperious Rex base, and he also gets this mighty staff, which is pretty fancy and ugly, but I think this is the same staff that came with him before. One of his hands is a fist and one of his hands is open, so he can hold the staff with the open hand like that. Oh, behold my mighty staff. So that's it for him. Darkhawk gets his stand, which it says Darkhawk, and these removable wings, which aren't made out of translucent plastic like Falcon's. If you can count the wings as an accessory. They're part of the figure, so I wouldn't count them as an accessory, but hey, your mileage may vary. Commander Rogers, he comes with the trademark rifle that a lot of Marvel Universe figures come with. It's kind of weird how Marvel Universe figures will get the same weapons. Meanwhile, G.I. Joes will get this awesome arsenal of weapons. But I guess since Marvel Universe is a license that Hasbro has to pay to have, they skimp on the weapons. That's my theory. I don't know what it is. But you get the standard machine gun, and with Captain America you get this little 45 pistol. It's kind of fat. It looks like the one that comes with one of the Captain Americas. I'm thinking Bucky Cap or Ultimate World War II Captain America. But it's a cool gun. Commander Rogers, as his base calls him, doesn't have any holsters, so he's gonna have to hold both guns unless you could give them to someone like Deadpool. And X-23 comes with just this base, and that's it. And twisted leg syndrome. The one thing about X-23 and her base, I can get this leg to get into the peg, but not this one. So Houston, we have a problem. I'm not gonna force it like always because I don't want to break it. I'd rather have her not standing on her base than have a broken figure. That's it for accessories. Since I don't own the original figure, I don't know what the original figure's face sculpt is like. I'm guessing it's the same thing, only painted red. But it's alright. When I was picking between the two Ultrons on the pegs, I was looking for any paint slop, and this guy has less of it on his nose, on his two little nostrils there. But the antennas are a little warped. That doesn't matter. But I like it. It's Ultron. It's not like the Marvel Legends Ultron from a few years ago, which was a bunny rabbit. I looked for some paint errors when picking this guy out. The other Namor, his eyes were kind of messed up. But I like it. He's not my favorite character, but he doesn't look like, he does look like the character. It's not like when you buy a Luke Skywalker, it's like, huh? Does that look like Luke? Maybe if I squint. But he looks good for Namor. You see this head scope, and you'll be like, hey, I know who that guy is. It's Mr. Spock. Darkhawk's, he's he's all right. There's nothing really like jazzy about the head sculpt or the mask. It's not like, wow, that's an awesome mask. It's like ROM. No, it's all right. It's doable. It's decent. It's kind of plain too, but I guess it's does what it has to do and look like the character. Now we have Steve Rogers, Commander Rogers, aka Captain America. I had to look through some figures. One of them had like some paint slop, like the blonde of his hair was bleeding onto his forehead, and sometimes there was another one that had its eyes a little like messed up. But I like him. He looks like a decent human being. Alright, that's too blurry. So there's a little silver on her mask, if you can't tell. That's not like the light reflecting on the plastic. That's silver paint in there. When I was looking through the figures, one of them had too much wash on her face and it looked like she had like a mustache, which, being a clone of Wolverine, I could see her as being hairy, but it's pretty good. I like how the hair just flows down naturally. It doesn't have any weird curls or anything to it. If why cons? Because if you're watching this video, it's already because you have an interest in seeing what this product is about. So I just want to point out what I don't like after opening these. Because when you have a figure in its package, it's like, wow, there's nothing wrong with this. It's so perfect. Look, no loose pieces or anything. But after you open it up, that's where the whole kit and caboodle surprise comes in. So the first thing I want to talk about is X-23, who I love. I love a lot. I bought it to complete the X-Force set, but if you look at Wolverine and you look at her, their grays don't match. Wolverine has more gray, but X-23 has silver. So that's like, I want to build my team. Look, it's Deadpool, even though they weren't in the same team together, because when Deadpool was in the team, she wasn't in the team. But still, the colors don't match, which is a disappointment. It's not like it's gonna make me not buy the figure, but I wanted to complete the set. I know that Warpath, the original Warpath, and not the X-Force Warpath, which I have right here. Yeah. Now these guys, they were in a team together, but they still don't match. I know the original Warpath has a silver and black deco, and as does the first X-Force Wolverine, which was released. So I guess if we don't get a repaint of X-23 in black and gray colors, I guess you can build your other X-Force by getting Warpath and Wolverine from the original release. So that's gripe number one. gripe number 2 is these guys have awesome articulation, but a lot of their joints are tight. Back in the Toy Biz days, a lot of Marvel Legends had tight joints, but I it I would rather have tight joints than loose joints. But still, when you have articulation, sometimes you want to use it. Like I wanted to pose X-23 a little more dynamic, but that's all I could get without like attempting to break her legs. Maybe I could get her into the pose, but after what happened with me and Ultimate Captain America last December, when I opened them up, I twisted the calf and the leg came off because I forced it. So that's gripe number 2, tight joints. And I guess it could be seen as kind of a gripe number 3, the character selection. I'm looking at the last wave I reviewed, and I even though he's a re-release, I like Doctor Doom. Every time I see him on the pegs, I want to buy another one. And I look at Doctor Strange and Falcon and Scarlet Spider. They look cool. Scar is like hit or miss, but out of this wave, the only guys that I was looking forward to collecting were X-23 and Commander Rogers. These 3 I could do without. I mean, I'm a completist as a collector, but if I wasn't a completist, I would have just picked up these 2 and I would have left these guys. Darkhawk looks cool, but I don't know about the character, so it kind of like eh. And in my years of toy collecting, I have seen that there is a correlation between watching a TV show like Thundercats and then picking up the product, as opposed to like just picking up the product without knowing nothing about it. I guess Sigma 6 was kind of like that. I liked the product and I watched the TV show, but the unity between the 2 helps sell. I guess that's why Transformers is so popular, because of the cartoon, and Marvel because of the comics. But if you didn't have the comics, you wouldn't have the characters. So the character selection is a bit the next wave only has like 2 that I want to get: Iceman and Astonishing Wolverine. The others I can't remember. I think there's an unmasked Tony Stark in there and new Iron Fist, but it's like but I'm not saying to Hasbro, don't experiment with the guys and the lines. And I understand that by re-releasing figures, I don't know if this is a re-release, but I know he is a re-release. I know that by doing that they cut cost, and you know, it's like when me uploading one of my Aries 0083 videos to my Spanish channel. It's like it does the job. So do I recommend picking these up? Like I've mentioned, if you're a collector, you're gonna want to get all of them. If you're not a collector, if you're just like a casual buyer, I would pick up X-23 and Commander Rogers. X-23 because it's a new female sculpt with more articulation than the average female, and Commander Rogers because the dude is on the back of the packaging, and he's in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is like being in charge of the whole Marvel universe. I'm just wondering who they're gonna put on the back for Series 4. So that's it. That's my review of Marvel Universe Series 3 Wave 4, aka Wave 14. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys out there in the future with more reviews of new stuff. Old stuff goes somewhere else. Bye.